Hi, I'm Marcy Jellison with a voice tip for the week. Today's voice tip will hopefully help those of you who are considering doing a solo performance of more than one song. So you might be someone who's dreaming about performing in a club, doing a cabaret, or even performing a classical recital. So the question is, how do you begin? I would hope that you've been studying for a while or singing for a while and you've learned a few pieces of music. You have a bit of repertoire to choose from. So you want to start by asking yourself some questions. What do I like to sing? What feels good in my voice? And explore that topic. Branch out and try lots of different kinds of songs, lots of different composers, lots of different genres, and find out what really fits you. You can also take a piece of music that might be written in one genre and change the rhythm slightly, change the phrasing, and you can take that standard and make it your own. So you want to begin to explore who you are as a musician. The next question you want to ask yourself is, what story do I want to tell? What emerges from my interests? And you may have many stories to tell, which is great if you do. So you might start making yourself a little list of songs that fit a particular topic. Maybe you want to sing about war and peace. Maybe you want to sing about love, gaining love, losing love, self-discovery, self-exploring, something that's uplifting. Maybe you have some angry songs to sing. And maybe you're just exploring different parts of your personality. Maybe you have a favorite poet, for example, and you might check out who are the composers that set music to poems by this favorite poet of yours. I have one student who recently gave a recital about sheep. Can you imagine? She performed it at the Church of the Good Shepherd. She sang songs, Agnus Dei, He Shall Feed His Flock, I'm a Little Lamb Who's Lost in the Woods, which is a Gershwin song, Someone to Watch Over Me. She found all kinds of lyrics having to do with sheep and shepherds, and it was a charming performance. So there are many, many, many topics to choose from. But when you begin, I suggest that you start small. You wanted to begin to develop stamina to sing several songs in a row. You might think about whittling things down to 6 songs. That turns out to be about a half an hour of music. And you might want to be sure that you can sing those 6 songs one after the other in a lesson or in a coaching session with a pianist or whoever might be accompanying you. Perhaps you're singing with a guitarist, or perhaps you're accompanying yourself. So you want to make sure that you can go from one song to the other and have the energy to do it. If you don't quite have the energy yet, go lightly, go small. Just sing 2 songs in a row until they feel comfortable before you add the next one on. And that's part of your rehearsal process. And you might want to think about your first performance in a small, very friendly venue. I've often offered my studio here where a student can perform those 6 songs to a small invited audience. Believe me, that's nerve-wracking for people. When you have close friends there, it's almost easier to think of singing to a group of people you don't know all that well. But if you can do it for 6 lovely friends, you can really learn a lot about yourself under those performance conditions. You will want to think about how the songs weave together. And a way to help you with your stamina is to think about speaking between songs and developing what we call a pattern. And this is done even for classical singers. Most of our performances now have a more interpersonal relationship. They're not quite so formal. So developing a way to talk to the audience is going to be very, very helpful. And that takes some time. That's a topic too that we can discuss perhaps for another voice tip. the talking between songs and how you manage that. So again, when you have the stamina, when you have the ability to connect carefully to material, when you can make contrasts with your material so that you can sing a song that has a faster tempo followed by a slower tempo, then something that might be more moderate, and then back to something fast. So you have the audience moving along with you. You wouldn't want to sing everything with the same tempo or everything with the same emotional content. You want to be able to vary things so that you keep the audience interest as you're telling the story. So that's a lot of information, and I will write more about it in my blog. If you go to my website at marcyjellisonvoice.com, I'll try to unpack this and put it into steps that you can follow one after the other so that you can have a wonderful experience as a solo performer.